Happy birthday, YieldMax. So it's been 1 full year since YieldMax funds came about. TSLY and ORAK were launched exactly 1 year ago. So it's time to sit back, and appreciate that, it's been 1 full year since these YieldMax funds started. And why do we want to say happy birthday? Why do we want to celebrate them? Even if you hate them, even if you're not a YieldMax fan or a Tesla fan, ORAK fan, etc., you have to appreciate what they did. And what they did is kind of like what Robinhood did, right? What did Robinhood do? They came out and they said, guess what? You can trade with us with no brokerage fees, no commission. We charge no commission and you could buy and sell stocks. And guess what? That brought light to the little man, right? You and I, the retail investor, typically we would not bother buying stocks for $5.99, per trade. Because, we may only have $100 a week, if that. So every trade, if you're buying a $50 stock, that's not worth it. One stock at a time. Robinhood came about and said, guess what? It's free. So you know what I did? I signed up for Robinhood, and here I am. I'm sure most people, the same thing. So what did YieldMax do? They said, you know what? If you invest with us, we can return, 50, 60% yield. And how do we do that? Guess what? We will trade the options on your behalf, and we will return that income, to you. Because options is not easy. Options is very complicated, and it involves a lot of your time, a lot of patience, a lot of things. And YieldMax said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's bring it to the plate. Let's have people invest with us, give them the opportunity to make money from options without doing options. All we'll do is we'll charge 0.99%. So like I said, even if you hate YieldMax, look what they started. Look at all of these, these followers, essentially. We have RexShares. We have Curve. We have Defiance. We have, all these others that are just coming out, with alternative strategy, high yield, high yield, high yield. And it's amazing. And competition is good. We have so many options now where we can make a lot more, yield on our money. So people that are retired now, people that are looking for additional income, there's other alternatives. It's not just SCHD with their 3%. It's not just VOO or, Coca-Cola. Guess what? If you have, the risk tolerance, you can invest into options ETFs to get a high yield. And it's pretty damn amazing. So to me, they deserve a happy birthday, from my standpoint. Obviously, I've been, they changed my whole mentality of what my plans are. And they, and I've been covering it from day one. And people obviously love to hear about it, which is good. So happy birthday, YieldMax. And thank you for what you've done, to the market. So that being said, if we take a look at their website, number one, and we go to the full ETF list, they've come a long way. As I said, Tesla, ORAK, they came out 1 year ago. Everyone else was just, they followed shortly after. Aptly, NVIDIA, and AMZ, Phoebe, GUI, Coney, Nefli, DeSo, MSFO, Zomo, JPMO, AMD, PP, everyone loves PP, Squee, and Murni. And there's going to be more and more to come. And it's a good time. It's a good time to be an investor, especially an income investor. So being that it's been 1 year, I decided to sit back, take a look at how they did. How did Tesla do through 1 year? How did ORAK do through 1 year? So let's take a look. So I went back and I looked at the price at the open. I used Robinhood, oddly enough, to check this. So Tesla shows that they opened at 20.06. Their price today is 11.28. So with one share, that's a capital loss of $8.78. Okay. They did pay out distributions totaling $8.52. since inception. So that's a total return loss. Oh, I didn't highlight it red. I apologize. Of 25 cents or 1.25%. So if you bought Tesla from day one, you would be down 1.25%. Okay. Is that good? Is that bad? Obviously, it's not good, right? Because you bought in at the high, and you say you bought in the high, not the high. You bought it at inception and you never purchased anything else. Yes, you'd be down. But realistically, if you bought Tesla day one, you more than likely have averaged down, right? So your price, let's say most people's average is, let's just say, I don't know. Let's say you got your average to 15. Again, I know you won't have all the distributions from day one, but this is just like quick thing. You could be up possibly 32%. Again, it all depends where you averaged in, right? So, but again, I just want to show real numbers. It's good to look at it to see how the funds have been doing. And Tesla, since the underlying is Tesla is so volatile, which is why the premium income, is so great. But at the same time, we don't always capture the upside, and it shows. It shows in the price, okay? So again, we're down overall $8.77 per share from day one, but total return, we're only down 1.25%. And granted, it took a massive hit in the beginning, right? Tesla was at a high, and then we got the full downside, and we never captured the recovery. Because as you can see, if you look at Tesla 1 year ago, it was priced at $168.63, and right now it's priced at $233. That's a gain of $65 a share. They don't pay dividends. Tesla stock doesn't pay dividends. So total return, that's a 38.58% total return. So yeah, the naysayers can say, well, if I bought Tesla at the same time, I'd be up. Of course you would. No arguments. You'd be up 38%, but you'd have no income. You'd have to sell in order to get that income, right? You'd sell and then you'd have nothing. The beauty about Tesla is, yes, we're making the income. And yes, our capital is down, but guess what? We're going to continue to make income as long as we don't sell. For Tesla, again, unfortunately, you'd have to sell to make money. So if you sell, that's it. That's the end of it. All right? You're going to use that income, and then what? That's it. With the dividend stocks, distribution ETFs, essentially you're just making money over and over and over again. Yes, you're making money now on essentially a lower price, which means a lower yield, but you're still making money. So hopefully that made sense. But yes, I just wanted to look year over year how are they comparable to the underlying. So let's take a look at OARC. OARC was open around the same price, 2002, and now. Also, keep in mind, OARC almost mimics Tesla because a big percentage of their ETF, I don't know if it's still like that, because I think they sold some. Last I checked, it was 6% or around there, which is a high allocation for that fund. But long story short, yes, they're also down. They're priced at $12.85 currently, OARC, which is down $7.17. Total distributions paid from day one is $6.31. Total return, per share is 86 cents negative, which means they're down. Oh, I didn't make this part red here either. They're down 4.31%. So they're doing worse than Tesla. How is their underlying doing? Well, their underlying is up, not that much, but they're up 19 per share or 26%. So again, these funds, you have to keep in mind how these funds work. The synthetic captures the downside and the upside, right? But the short calls, the weekly calls that they do, it limits the upside potential. So depending on the timing, if you look at these charts, you look at like Tesla versus Tesla. Tesla's in purple, Tesla's in black. So you could see anything going down, it's going to match 1-to-1. Anything going up has a possible cap. So any big jumps up, yes, we're going to be capped. We're not going to have we're not going to be taking advantage of that full upside, which sucks. It really does. But that's the way it is. How else, we have to make income some way or another. So that timing of the calls has to be perfect. They have to know how much it's going to go up to sell calls out of the money, for that much. But that's nearly impossible to do. But they do their best and they do good. Again, Tesla, is a tough one to look at because from where they started, Tesla, went down drastically and then recovered, but, they recovered in jumps, which did not help us. So long story short, I am a believer in Tesla still. But I understand what, I have to do. And what do I have to do? I have to average when they're at their lowest, right? I have to average down at their lowest. And that's how I treat all these funds, all right? You have to get in a good price point. So if Tesla in the middle of the week jumps down like 5% in one day, that's a great, to me, good chance to buy in, right? Because guess what? It'll jump up. If it jumps back up 5% that next day, you're going to capture that most likely because, the call is still probably within the range. It's good to take these dips early in the week in case it jumps back up in the same week. Because again, the call is likely still, within the range that you can get that upside potential. Again, I hope that makes sense. Let me say it one more time. All right, let's say this Friday, they sell a call 2% out of the money. Right? I'm going to flip out my Saturday video like I always do, blah, blah, blah. But let's say Monday, Tesla dips 5%. If you jump in at that, point in time, you get that 5% dip and it goes up, it recovers 5% on Tuesday, you're going to have that full upside potential because when it dips to 5%, guess what? We're 7% out of the money, right? So if it goes back up 5%, we can capture 5% at that point. So again, the dips in the beginning of the week are important. And that's just one way I'm looking at these funds, right? Right now, like the dip, today's a Wednesday, we're closed tomorrow, and we have an early day Friday. So this week is essentially over, but it's dipping today. Of course it's dipping this week. We have 8% out of the money and we're not taking, advantage of that, unfortunately. So we'll see what next week brings, but it is what it is. If we look at OARC, more of the same. Again, the downside is going to match 1-to-1, and the quick jumps up, we're not going to capitalize on that. And it's unfortunate, but we have to time the calls right. And this strategy, it's a more aggressive strategy, and they strive for income versus capital appreciation. So again, we have to understand that. And it's a great strategy, but you have to understand, yes, there's going to be weeks where Tesla goes up or the underlying goes up and we cannot take advantage of that full upside. But anyway, it's been 1 year. I've learned a lot from these funds, and I do believe in these funds, and I think they've done a great job. So they deserve a happy birthday. They deserve an appreciation. Even though what I just showed you, yes, it may not look that great, but, just keep in mind what they're doing and what the strategy is. And then hopefully it'll make more sense, when you try to understand, how it could play out for you. Again, I just wanted to make a quick video, just say happy birthday to YieldMax, say they've done a great job. And as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. But either way, let me know what you guys think, how the first year has gone. Did you get into Tesla day one? And what are your thoughts? Did you average down? And how's your position now? Are you sitting good? Are you in the green? Or are you down a lot? Most people are down because, we're at the lows. Tesla, right now we're at the lows. The lowest was like 10. We're at like 11 something. And, it is what it is. It's not an easy stock to sell options on, because we don't know. It's unpredictable. So these other ones are a little safer. Like Apple's a little safer, right? But that's why they pay a lower yield. So if you're okay with a 10% yield, then yeah, you could be, you could sleep a little better at night versus owning Tesla. So yeah, but again, I didn't want to get to, make this too long of a video. I just wanted to cover, you know, how the first year has been for those funds, where they stand, and so on and so forth. But hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please click like. If you have any questions or feedback about how the first year went for YieldMax, leave in the comments. If you just want to say happy birthday to YieldMax, then do it. If you want to say, I hate you, YieldMax, sure, you can do that too, I guess, right? But either way, just wanted to make a quick video since it's been 1 year. So let's celebrate, and that's it. Have a great day. Later.